Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about intercoolers. We're gonna change the intercooler to against a much bigger one. It's the one from Plazmaman in Australia. As you might know, there's already one very famous GR Yaris that drives with this intercooler. You may have seen it. I think it was at some time the most powerful GR Yaris in the world. And they used that intercooler also for track. It's rated to about 475, 480 horsepower, I think, which is plenty enough for that project we are going to use it. There's a few reasons we decided for that project we're gonna use that intercooler. One of the main reasons is it's not much or not at all higher than the stock one. So it doesn't block the radiator, which is just in the back of it. So I really like that, because most of the intercoolers I've seen, like the one from Wagner, especially, that's a very famous one, that's very tall. So it blocks part of the radiator in the back, which I don't really like. I would like to have free airflow to the radiator as well, because the GR Yaris isn't famous for very cool intake temps, very cool oil temps, and also not very low water temps. So I don't want to worsen that. Maybe it works, I don't know, but if you install the one from like Wagner, you limit yourself to very few places where you can install an oil cooler. So that's why we decided for that project to go with the Plazmaman, because we also installed our oil cooler kit. We had to modify that a little bit for that intercooler, not that much. We just had to lift it up for, I think, 20 millimeters. We lifted it up, the oil cooler, and now it works perfectly. It's not this car, by the way. It's not my car. That is my car, but it's not on my car where we changed the intercooler. That's why I can't show you right now some footage, but I've done some footage of the intercooler when we had them both out of the car. So that's what I'm gonna show you right now. One of the other reasons we decided to go with that intercooler is because it's just a very thick net, and the end tanks are very well made. And it also does fit with the stock piping. So if you have stock piping or want to keep stock piping, you can just use it as a plug and play solution. You have to move the radiator a little bit back. You get some brackets with it. It's honestly very quickly installed. We needed today, I think, roughly 3.5 hours to install everything. But we also had to relocate the oil cooler. So that took another 1.5 hours. In 2.5 hours, you're able to install the intercooler if you have stock piping and if you want to use stock piping again. I think they have also an option for bigger intercooler pipes. I think it's 2-inch, not quite sure, because we didn't use that, because stock piping works just as well. Especially if you're not going, if you're going to 450, 500 horsepower, you might need the bigger intercooler piping. But if you're staying south of 400 horsepower with stock turbo and everything, I don't think it's necessary to upgrade that as well. I would do something different with the money I saved on intercooler piping, but yeah, you can do it if you want it. The Wagner kit gets sold also with the complete intercooler piping kit, which is cool because you get a complete kit. It's also quite expensive, but I'm sure it will work very well. I don't know if it will work well on a track when you don't want to have that high oil temperature. If you don't mind to have 125, 130 degrees, I think it's no problem to have no oil cooler or the Wagner and just a small oil cooler on top. Now I'm going to show you how the differences are between the stock intercooler and the one from Plazmaman, and how it looks when it is installed. So that's it, let's go. So, and this is the Plazmaman intercooler compared to the stock one, and as you can already see, it's huge compared to the stock one. It's actually not that much higher. So, and as you can see, the stock one is 150 and this one is also 150. So they are identical in height. Now, the stock one is wide 63 and this one's 60. So it's a little bit shorter on that side, but the end tanks are much bigger. So I think you get a little bit better flow. But thickness, this one is, the stock one is about 8 and this one is 14.5. So it's really much bigger. It's also heavier, obviously. Stock one I can just lift up like this. This one, yeah, it's a little bit heavier. But it's very well built. To be said, the welds look very nice. Everything is very flow optimized, I think. And it just looks nice in black. We're already installing it right now. I don't think it will take that much time. Stock one got out pretty easily. So we now just install this one and then let's take a look how good it fits. And this is it installed. It fits very nicely, I have to say. We had to relocate the oil cooler, but that was very easy. Just have to drill 4 new holes. Yeah, but now it looks very nice and yeah, it will work much better. These don't fit very nicely anymore. That's a shame because I really liked them. So we'll see, but we'll make it work somehow, and yeah. So now we put everything back together. So that's it for this video. We're gonna test also this car on track, and not ourselves, but it gets tested on track, and it also gets on the dyno when we're able to map the cars. I hope we're gonna see some good results. I don't think you will get more horsepower because of the intercooler, because the stock one works quite well. But you will get more power or the same power for a longer time because your intake temperatures will fall, and so it doesn't heat up that fast, which is pretty nice if you're doing 20, 25, 30 minutes stints on track. It will help to keep the intake temperatures down. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.